another band. All the Mars and cars now, whichever get up. Light up my card with a sweet one bliss. Someone flicks me a bag by the end. Say, oh, it's another one. It's another one, yeah. It's a full strand, yeah. Oh, it's another one. It's another one, yeah.
What's going on, people? Welcome back to the Stay Weighed show, presented to you by iBoxingHub in association with our sponsors, D-Rock Clothing. We're back. Ray, how we feeling, man?
Listen, man, it's been a minute. You know I'm back because I ain't got no trim. I've literally just come back in from sparring. I'm knackered, I'm battered, but I'm here, man. How about yourself?
I got a trim, right? However, the problem is it's -1 degrees in the house. So we're going to keep the hood up even though the central heating's on. I don't believe in central heating, by the way.
Wait, what do you mean you don't believe in central heating? What does that mean?
I believe it's a scam. The reason I believe it's a scam is I do this one thing, right? If it's cold, I'm going to go outside. I'm going to climatize my body. And then when I come home, regardless of the temperature in the house, my body's going to be warmer. Every single person can also do that, and you don't need to pay for central heating.
Wait, repeat that last part again. So I'm just trying to make sense of this. Will go on.
So say, for example, it's you feel cold.
Yeah.
You go outside, you're going to feel colder, but your body will climatize to it. When you come inside, you will always be warmer than you were outside. Right?
It's not a given, but I get what you're saying, but it's not a given.
If every single person did that, you won't need to get central heating and you'll save a lot of money.
That is absolutely fugazi because you know what that's like saying? Outside is -2, but when you go into your house, it's 3 degrees. Technically, it's warmer.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
3 degrees. No, I don't want to be in 3 degrees.
Like I said, central heating is a scam, but I have to get it.
I always say I am genetically engineered for warmer weather, so that will always be my default. Every year, I'll still be in shock at how cold it gets, despite the fact that I've been here to 30 plus years and I know it's going to get cold, and I will act shocked every single time.
That's what I mean. I think that's a scam. I think mobile networks are also a scam. I'm
intrigued. Let's go on.
How can Tesco charge you £9.99 for unlimited minutes, text, and data, and O2 charge me £27? What's special about your Twitter?
But that's more.
Does not mean it's a scam.
Yeah, that I understand, but that's just marketing.
Yeah, but there's a lot of things.
You are also the same person. That will unnecessarily buy a new phone when you don't need to. So isn't that like?
Oh no, I'm scamming myself.
Oh, at least you know.
Yeah. My self-awareness is sensational.
I respect.
I will tell every single person, like, my self-awareness is very good, and I know what type of person I am. But see, I'm good. I'm a certain age now. I ain't revealing that shit on here, but I'm a certain age where I know that now. But there is one other person we got to talk about. We'll go straight into Tyson Fury. He had his open press conference for yesterday's fight, and I saw an interview where he said, "Look, I'm here. I'm not here for the money. I know what you're going to say straight away. I'm here to somewhat save boxing, right?"
I wish I drank alcohol.
I mean, what do you think? Genuinely, I'm asking this. Is the Tyson Fury Endgame, because this is going to be his last run in terms of boxing?
I knew he was coming back.
Oh no, I know that. That's what's the Endgame.
He wasn't even in denial. He was just being obtuse.
No, I said, wait.
Endgame. We already knew what the Endgame was. The Endgame was meant to be AJ. But obviously, AJ unfortunately got into the crash, and so that now it's kind of just like you have to tick away and see on the timeline how long it will take for AJ to come back. And this is one of the few times when, to be fair, I hate when people used to complain about AJ taking warm-up fights. I'm just like, he's not champion no more, so he can do what he wants. But these are one of the few times it's just like, no, he actually needs to take. If he's going to fight again, he absolutely needs to take a warm-up fight against lesser competition just to see how his body reacts to the physical trauma and the mental trauma and the spiritual. As for Tyson Fury, I think he's come back. Tyson Fury's comeback is kind of like Isak's transfer to Liverpool. You done it too. You pulled the trigger too late. When AJ was there for the taking, you didn't want to come out of your retirement. And then now that what's happened to AJ's happened, it's kind of just like, rah, I've come out of retirement, and that person who was supposed to be my payday is currently in a predicament.
Do you know what it is though? I hear what you're saying. I don't think they went hand in hand though, if that makes sense. I always
absolutely did, and stop lying to yourself.
No. My point being is, I think he probably thought, give myself a year and let's see what the landscape of boxing is like, right? And if it's favorable for Tyson Fury, I'm gonna come back in. And I do genuinely think, obviously because of what happened with AJ, prior to that, he was always going to come back. So he had made the intention, it was there, it just wasn't as public. Then obviously what happened with AJ, I think if it's Tyson Fury, he's probably looking at it like, I probably didn't need to come back. Like, because I don't know if that money fight is going to be there for me. But if everything had been smooth sailing, I think we would have got that in September personally. But for me, like, I do think he's going to try to go for a world title. Like, I've said this before. I care about the fight, but at the end if both guys do not fight, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. So I think he's probably does want to go for a world title.
Well, here's the funny thing.
Mm.
It would have been easier if he went the Queensberry route. But it's still techie because obviously I think
it's a hard Queensberry route. I think a Wardley fight is harder than a Dubois fight.
Either of them is a hard go, especially the fact that I don't know if Fury's on the best of terms with what's this guy's name? Fish Eyes.
Granddad Frank.
Because
no, I think he's alright with
him. From uncle to granddad, you know. Shout out.
No. Eddie's uncle, he's granddad.
You know, I respect that. But Uncle Frank, from what I understand, Queensberry's not involved in this fight that he's doing against I've forgotten the gentleman's name. But yeah, that fight in Tottenham is not Queensberry, is it?
I think they'll have the name attached to it.
Oh no, then that's fine then. Yeah, I just
the name's attached to it. Yeah, the name's attached to it because yesterday it wasn't like it was anybody outside of Queensberry. Dev was doing the press conference and everything, so I think they're there. But I think it is a Turkey Ring Magazine central thing, and here you are. The same way where the difference being, say we had like Eubank Ben, it was Matchroom, Boxer, and the Ring Magazine, like it's but I feel like how it's been promoted, just because it's not on the zone, it looks like it's Turkey Al Sheikh, Ring Magazine and stuff like that, and we don't know who's on the side. But no, Queensberry is in there. But to your point, I'll let you carry on with your point, then I'll just go with where I think the Queensberry route would be for me.
Start cooking.
Oh no, yeah, my point being is, I don't think Daniel Dubois is a hard fight for Tyson Fury at all. Like, not in the. Think about when he beat AJ's style is far.
He engaged in a gunfight that he shouldn't have engaged in.
And compared to like a Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk, I'm not saying they're the same, but they have a level of similarity where they can break down a fighter and make you feel very awkward. Whereas I don't think that's always been held against AJ. Can you not necessarily box, but you know what I mean? I feel like if you fought a Daniel Dubois who might be somewhat confident shot, if he sees the visions replaying of the way Usyk went, I think he beats him quite easily. Fabio Ward.
If we get that Tyson again, I think Tyson.
That's where this fight's going to be super important. Whereas Fabio Wardley, I just think he's got this level of confidence that, you know what, I'm gonna come through this, and I will. I'm not just a paper champion. I wasn't just handed it. I was able to go ahead, win, beat Joseph Parker. Then who did he beat? It was Justice Hooney as well. Then he goes, let's say he beats Daniel Dubois. I have a lot of confidence going into this fight, and I can work with an older Tyson Fury. But like, if you were to ask me if I'm Tyson Fury, I would 100% love to fight a Daniel Dubois over Fabio Wardley.
Fabio Wardley is a wild card, so I think that's what makes him dangerous. Dubois is more well-rounded, except for he's just a one-path guy. Like if he gets taken off his path, then it's curtains. So I think the issue comes in with Fury is with Wardley. Can you afford to do the taunting that you normally do with such a wild card? And then with Dubois, it's kind of just like, if that plan A does work, is Fury going to be in good enough shape to not feel the wrath of it? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, 100%. Because when Dubois hits, he hits and it hurts.
And I also think, in regards to like Usyk, who Fury keeps on asking to fight, brother, Usyk will relinquish his belt before he fights Fury again. He does not care for that fight at all.
Do you want to pivot to Usyk?
There's nothing to say about Usyk.
I mean, there is.
He's done what he's needed to do.
No, that's fine.
Guess what? He's gonna get stripped of his belt if he doesn't defend, which I think will happen. And no, he's done what he's needed to do. He's just holding on for the sake of holding on. But I think also the good thing with Usyk is that I think if push comes to shove, he'll give his belt. He'll just be like, "Here, have it."
No, this is the thing. When I think Mauricio Sullivan said, he's got voluntary defense, and then you fight Caballero, right?
Yeah.
I think he's gonna do his voluntary defense, and then what will happen? Personally, this is what I'm thinking, right? He's gonna dangle the carrot against Caballero for as long as he needs to, until he then says, "Nah, I don't want to fight." And then, Caballero may get elevated. Or if he's the type of fighter I think he would be, which is, I'm hungry, I want to fight, he's going to do something stupid. He's going to do a Joseph Parker and risk it.
Well, that Joseph Parker fight would be, who's been calling him out? Lawrence Okoli, but...
No, okay. But my point being is, Joseph Parker, you had the world title there. But because we were waiting on...
Oh, yeah.
Because we were waiting on Usyk, you then took the fight against Wardley because Usyk weren't giving you a fight, and it backfired.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
That's what I feel like Caballero might do.
I also understand, but I don't know if Okoli will be Caballero's Wardley. Yeah, sorry, I was getting confused.
Yeah. I know what you mean by that. Yeah.
So,
but like I said, for me, if we're calling a spade, as you like to say, I think Usyk, respectfully, just give up the belts that you know that you have no intention of defending, and just do your thing. I've got no problem with that. But when you're holding the hostage division, we're going to the division hostage, we gotta call it out, like you love to say, right?
Yeah, he is. But that heavyweight division, there's also not clear-cut contenders. That's why I also have to respect about to say Harper, Wardley, for doing what he done, because with Wardley is like he just went a different route. He wanted the Usyk fight, and it was kind of just like, do you know what? No, you're taking too long, bun it. And then he just went his other route, went for Joseph Parker, went for the interim belt, and then thankfully he got uplifted to the full belt. But I don't see any other heavyweights doing that. Caballero was taking his time. Now he's in a similar position. And then who's the other heavyweight contenders? We don't even know.
Yeah, no, I hear it. But this is where I'm going to go with this. Just this quick comment from Alex that say,
Hmm.
if Wilder knocks out Chisora, Usyk is next.
Wilder's not knocking out Chisora.
I'm not saying he is, but I'm not saying he's not. Because I think it's okay. How Chisora final fight, he's basically said it, right? Again, I don't know how much we're going to stick to it, but I feel like he will.
No,
do
I
it.
generally when Chisora said he's seeing a therapist, that's when I realized, oh no, he's being real. But that means he's basically saying like, yo, I'm actually preparing myself mentally to not do this no more.
Whereas with Wilder, he's not come out and said that, and he knows if you do not win this fight, that's it. You might as well call it a day. So I do sense a little bit more. Whereas Chisora, you're in you're in London. Enjoy it, have a vibe. Whether you lose, whether you win, the night's gonna be about you. So I think he's got that about him. So I do see a world where we do eventually get Wilder versus Usyk, but I see that possibly in America or even I don't know if I can say opening up in them Riyadh season cards.
Yeah.
But I see one of them too. But I want to.
I think now Chisora, I think he's truthfully.
Yeah, he's checked out to a point which is fine. I rate that. I rate
Do you know
Chisora.
what I like about because Chisora also as well is just in a stage. He's in mercenary stage where it's just like, yo, just give me a fight that's gonna get paid.
Yeah.
And that is a guy I think that's actually readying himself to retire because it's just like I think he also understands that I am not getting. There's not too many other name brand people that can fight as a mercenary because eventually all the old guys are gonna go out and then he's gonna have to fight the young guns. And
You don't want to do that.
yeah, he's smart. He's just like, brother, at my age. Who was it that? Was it Joseph Parker that Chisora was cutting out? Because it was just like, why would you fight a young why are you fighting
why
young
fighting Woodley and stuff? Yeah.
No, where you are in your career, you're not meant to do that. Like, brother, get paid. And obviously, it's harder to say to someone who's trying to get championships when you're just someone who's a mercenary. But
You know what? In a weird way, Chisora's genuinely one of the smartest people you'll meet because he gets what he needs to do. He knows what he needs to do. He can say the right things. He can sell a fight, and then he's like, "Yo, I'm cashing out. I don't care." Like he's very, and it feels like because he's not authentic in saying it, but because that's been somewhat of his crazy demeanor. It's like, fuck
yeah,
it, Derek Chisora is not wrong. Whereas if someone else said, it's like, "Oh, you're money grabbing," like a Tank Davis.
I think the difference is Chisora's also self-aware enough to realize I'm not championship level. Whereas with Davis, it's kind of like you keep on bragging on acting like you're championship level, but you're not facing championship guys. So it's like one or the other. Be the money man or be the championship guy. Or he's in a rare situation where you can do both. And you're choosing not to, but then you keep on saying that you're this high level, and you know he gets in interviews and he gets pissed off when people compare him to Shakur because he's just like, yeah, Shakur's good, but I'll touch him at one point and he'll fall. And it's just like you can make the fight happen. Make it happen.
I'll guarantee you right now, Shakur could drop to 135 for it. But just quickly before we move on to Eddie and Dana, did you see the stuff with Big John Fury?
No, what's happened?
So press conference, they're there, and he's just shouting, screaming. He's looking for Carl Froch.
I mean, that's John Fury summed up.
And apparently, Carl Froch has done a video. He said, "I seen him. I thought he was going to come down. I'm 10 seconds away from my Netflix debut. I've taken off the Rolex, and I'm just thinking, fuck it. If you're going to come for me, you're going to come for me whilst I'm live on Netflix."
Yeah.
But he didn't do anything. He just shouted.
Of course.
He left his way through. And he was just
That
constantly
like
kicking off. But you know what? I am okay with it whilst we're in this stage. But if we're in the final week, not even the final week, let's call it. If we're at fight night, again, I always say, let me hear the trainer. I can respect you for your thing, but let me hear the trainer. But yeah, look, John Fury, he's got to be that I don't mind it. I genuinely do not mind him doing his fuckery because that's what we know him for. But I do want to ask your thoughts on Dana and Eddie Hearn. A little bit of tit for tat. Eddie's basically just shitting on him for saying, like, you're creating these super boxing championships. Like, what does that really mean? And Dana's done the traditional thing. And that's where Dana's messed up for me, where he said, essentially, you're just living off your dad. The
Which
fact that
is
but my whole thing is the fact that you're using that, it doesn't stick anymore because other people have used it. You've got to be a bit more creative with it.
it's not even just that. Eddie Hearn has never run away from the
Yeah.
fact that yes, and that's one thing I'll give about Eddie Hearn. He is self-aware in that regards, where he's just like, brother, I am absolutely a silver spoon baby, and I love that. In a world where I'm sorry she has to take this shot, but she bought on herself. In a world where Victoria Beckham is trying to, classify herself as working class,
You ain't working class.
brother, Eddie Hearn is just like, yes, silver spoon kid. I absolutely am. He doesn't hide it, and he's proud. He's just like, yeah, like, why would I not be? My dad worked hard so that we can live a certain life because he is working class. His dad's working class, and he's just like, my dad works hard so that we can have this. And Eddie's thing is like, Eddie's who would want, well, certain areas, I'm not going to say all, but in terms of drive, you want your kid to be like that. In terms of, if you have done well to provide your kid a good life, you would want someone with Eddie's drive where it's just like, I've got a good life, but I still want to do more. Like, the whole reverse psychology of shaming that is weird. Like, I don't understand. So is Eddie's dad not meant to do well for their family? Like, what are you on about?
Yeah, like I always say.
And the irony is, Mr. White, you got the UFC popping because you have billionaire friends. You didn't did you do well to get the UFC to where it is? Absolutely. Will never take away from that. One of the greatest promoters ever in fighting in combat sports. Stop acting like you didn't have Zufar. And if people, from those that know MMA from way back, Zufar is the parent company, the original parent company of the UFC when Dana helped purchase it. And Zufar the money was bankrolled by two brothers, the Fertitta brothers, who were billionaire babies through casinos, basically. So when Dana keeps on talking like the UFC was just him, like, oh yeah, like Eddie got it this way, it's like, Dana, you're not as self-made as you act like you are. Like, the UFC was in big debt before. I think it was the first Ultimate Fighter, and then it got big recognition, etc. But it's like the Fertittas were very key. Even like the debt that they got into, it was because the Fertittas that are billionaires that you was able to afford to go into that debt. But if you just went into that debt by yourself, you might not be here right now.
And this is the thing. This point here, I disagree completely. Dana's point is Eddie's not elevated.
That is absolute BS, and you're lying to yourself, because if you've seen how Matchroom transformed big nights in the UK, you wouldn't lie like that.
Not even that. Like,
get off your knees.
He's taken it. If Eddie wanted to, he could have just taken the Barry Hearn model, being in the UK, and genuinely been. As much as I love Frank, he would have eclipsed Frank personally for me in the UK if he wanted to, because he can market very well. He realized,
in some areas.
Yeah, he was like, wait a minute, I've got market there.
If anything, the only reason Frank has made a comeback is because
Eddie went away.
Yeah, no, not even just that. Eddie gave him competition to force him to do better. Because Eddie was doing so well, it had to force Frank to actually be like, oh crap, I need to up my game because Matchroom is out here doing. I say this all the time. The fact that even like where is it's like Dubois and Wardley, two big heavyweights, it's not in the stadium, it's in an arena. Eddie Hearn and Matchroom and AJ made us think that stadium fights is a normal thing. Like every other AJ fight was a stadium fight. That's not normal. Like, I don't think people understand how big stadiums really are. And to pack them out sold out all the time and to have these big, elaborate shows. Don't try to tell me that Eddie has an elevated matchroom. Like, you're just lying, because I don't recall Barry Hearn doing multiple stadium fights.
I don't even think Barry Hearn would have thought of doing that personally. But also, I think when I look at Matchroom, I look at Queensberry, and that is your traditional British boxing brand.
Yeah.
Cool. Like when Tyson Fury went to America, he partnered with Top Rank whilst being with Queensberry. When Matchroom go to America, it's not Matchroom and PBC whatever. It's Matchroom Boxing, and maybe an individual fighter's promotion, like a Devin Haney promotion or something like that. But it is Matchroom, and that's where, like Eddie said it himself on like videos, because my dad built it, but I had the vision for international, and for me, he elevated it. But this is the point that always cracks me up about Dana White. He's talked about removing titles and stuff like that. I promise you, unless you do something ridiculous, no boxer or no 5, 6, 7-year-old start-up boxer is saying, I want to be Zuffa boxing champion. There's not a single person that's going to say that.
They need to, and I think they will change the name of that belt soon, because
nobody wants. The reason why the UFC works is at that point when the UFC came about, you hit the market where it was like, whoa, the best are gonna be here, and you wanted to be like, when you looked at it, you were like, okay, 90% of the champions at the UFC are the best in their weight class. I liken it to AEW and WWE.
Yeah.
WWE is still the king. It will always be the king. The World Heavyweight Championship is, there may be a couple of guys in AEW that are very good, but even when they cut a promo to say they hold the most prestigious title in wrestling, they know they're bullshitting. Nobody is saying the Zuffa boxing title is the best title in boxing.
You know what's
it just sounds shit.
Because it's not even just that, yeah. The UFC used to make fun of Bellator because they were just like, what is a Bellator? Yeah. Like, it sounds, I think, to be fair, I think what Bellator is warrior in Spanish or something like that. But they always used to say, even the name Bellator, like, what is a Bellator?
It does sound shit.
And so now the irony that they're calling it Zuffa boxing, it's just like, what's a Zuffa? What's a, and I know it's meant to be Italian for fight, but the average person don't know what a Zuffa is. You would better off, even if you call it, oh no, that sounds ugly. I was gonna say ZB
boxing. I don't even know.
At least it's, you know what I'm saying. But even like when I remember when PBC were considering doing their own championship, that sounds decent at least. Like, I think for whatever reason we like initials on our combat sports, from sports entertainment such as WWE, AEW to the UFC to WBC, WBA, WBO, IBF. So they're calling it Zuffa. Eventually, I think they're gonna have to do a name change. I think they will, because it just sounds nasty. You should have just a parent organization called Zuffa Boxing, but to say you're fighting for the Zuffa Boxing Championship of the world,
yeah. And the thing is, let's have a look.
And you're not breaking bread with, you're not breaking no, but the ring is the ring.
The ring is that's the whole point. You cannot say the ring is, there's only going to be one title, but then the Zuffa belt is a pathway to the ring belt. So there's two titles.
Listen, man, the ring is the ring. Like, no matter how much you try to, there's no.
That has its own thing, and that's fine. For me, like, I get Jaya Pataya's gone there. So Jaya Pataya is a boxing name. He is not a brand name that anyone else cares about.
Jaya Pataya's thing was crazy because I said, unless they get him the fight that he want, what is the point? Unless Jaya Pataya is now in Derek Chisora territory. Don't get me wrong. Do I feel like people ducked Jaya Pataya? Absolutely. Now, Zerdo, who's been running, is going to face Benavidez. And I hope that Benavidez bangs him. only because the ducking that Zodo has done is so. You thought I dislike Canelo. My dislike for Zodo, his ducking has been some of the nastiest he's actually denied knowing who Opataya is, which is even worse. So at least with Canelo at least said he knew who Benavidez was, and he just kept on saying,
I don't want to give him time. Yeah.
But Zodo's once called out his name or kept on saying, like, yeah, we'll make it happen. Then interviews months later, when the fight could happen, Zodo was just like, I don't know who Jay Opataya is. And I'm like, you're not even a big man to be you can't little man Jay Opataya. Like, is that whole cruiserweight division, throw in a bin, man. It's nasty.
This is the thing as well, right? For me, and I don't think he will go there because at his core, he's too much of a traditionalist. But there's one fighter I'm looking at right now, and I said, if you wanted to go over to Zuffa, I genuinely wouldn't be mad. The problem is, can you get the fights afterwards? That would be Shakur, just because of how dirty the WBC did him.
Nah.
That's my only reason, because the reason is you paid the 100 bags.
Yeah.
You haven't even had a week to sleep with the belt, and they've already stripped you of your 135 title.
Here's the only thing with Shakur.
But I don't see it ever happening because he has that traditional style of I want to go and win them world titles. And I think Adams
good thing is you can say F the WBC, there's still the WBO, there's still the WBA, there's still the IBF. So there's still recognizable world titles where it's just like, all right, cool, F the WBC. I can still become a recognized world champion with the other belts. Whereas Zuffa, that's why it's even funny, Dana's comments. I'm like, you guys need to focus on getting your competition off the ground. Just because you have a big financial backing, it doesn't equal we're going to be a success.
No, anymore.
And
like the Saudi Pro League.
He's not going to change boxing.
No.
For as long as there's competition, for as long as they're not willing to break the bank for people, you're not going to get the top guys, because the top guys will always be able to be like, I want a certain amount of millions. Now, don't get me wrong, the pay that the AJs, the Canelos, the Furies, what them men are getting, them days are going to be over when them lot retire. Because they will be boxing. However, you cannot do that when other promoters are going to be, because obviously with the UFC, it's just like Dana's used to, you can go somewhere else. Not too many places are going to pay more than us. Do you get what I'm saying? Whereas boxing, yes, it's similar to what Alexander said here. You can't go in there with an MMA mindset, because guess what? Unlike MMA, boxing, not even when there's multiple sanctioning bodies, there's multiple promotions with big money. It's like going to a club and you think you're the only one that can buy bottles. It's like Dana going thinking, right, I'll buy bottles. And Eddie's in the club too, like, brother, I'm buying bottles too.
Yeah.
Who you think is? And then Uncle Frank is in the corner saying, I'm not even buying bottles. My son's buying bottles. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. And guess what? They could probably put more money down.
Brother, it's not even about more money. As long as people want big paydays, they're not going to look at Zuffa boxing, because Dana is historically tight. You cannot progress. Don't get me wrong. I actually want the league to do well. I want Zuffa boxing. No. The reason I say I want it to do well, because there's mid-tier boxers who I'd want to be able to make a living boxing. So for them, that's why I'm just like, I would actually like Zuffa to do well, so that because not everyone's going to be championship level, but I still want it to be like, all right, cool, there's some mid-level boxer that can still make, I don't know, 6 figures a year. They're not championship level, but they can make good money and they're entertaining. That's why more competition is good. I don't want it to fail. However, them thinking that they're going to be the top guys and do what they've done in MMA is false. It's a 10-year plan, guys. You guys will be shocked by how different. Listen, man.
That nothing's going to change.
Wait, no, Alex. answer me this: how long have you been watching the UFC? I'm intrigued. I want to know, what year did you start watching UFC? This will tell me a lot. What year did you start watching UFC?
This is my thing, right? The only thing that can change in 5 years, funny enough, right, when it comes to boxing, is your top guys will retire.
Yeah.
And that 10-year plan will fall if Turki Al Sheikh decides he doesn't want to be a part of it.
Not even that, because I think the way they're investing in Zuffa boxing is different to how they invested in Riyadh season. Because Riyadh season,
100%.
Obviously, they're just like, we're just giving money to stars. Whereas this is infrastructure. 2007, cool. If you really go into it in 2007, and you think that how they operate in MMA with no competition is how they're going to operate in boxing, you think that when Devin Haney wants to make a big fight with Shakur, Dana would literally have to, if Dana wanted to promote that, he would literally have to go against his own wage structure. The same way when Dana was promoting Canelo Crawford, you was just the face of the promotion. You weren't really the real promoter.
You weren't doing nothing, yeah.
You weren't the face. You weren't the real promoter, because if you really try to pay Canelo and Crawford off of your UFC model, both of them are. I've seen so many interviews where Crawford is laughing at UFC guys, just saying, "Bryce, that's what you lot get paid. I could never." Even when Crawford, this is why UFC fighters, should be like looking at themselves in disgust, for not revolting against the UFC. Crawford, before the Errol Spence fight, was never doing numbers like some of the MMA. I'm sorry, Dustin Poirier is more popular than a lot of boxers out there. He is.
And
as a sports person, there are boxers that have the fifth. I remember, what is the show? Morning Combat with Luke Thomas and Brian Campbell, even though I know he's left now. I remember they made a comparison. They done the boxing equivalent to Dustin Poirier. I think they came to.
Are you on about in terms of the salaries and stuff?
Yeah, but no, just in terms of where that person is in the fight world. They had Dustin Poirier. I think they compared him to Rougarou, Regis Prograis. And he goes, they're both from the same hometown. But he was basically saying Poirier is so much more popular than Rougarou. But just in terms of payments that are known, because I know UFC do this thing of, we pay guys,
behind the curtain, basically.
But just in terms of how much they made for that fight night, they were like, Rougarou has out-earned him crazy, and he's not known like that. So I said, if someone like Regis Prograis can out-earn Dustin Poirier when it comes to official figures, which is crazy, why do you think you're going to bring that to boxing when guys are already getting paid nice amount? And they're not even known like the UFC guys.
Let me see if I can find it, because here we go, right? Look at this. This is mad. Regis Prograis, because I remember I legit had this conversation with my brothers at the time. I was like, I don't think you realize how much money these guys made. Both of them, Cattrall was in the Prograis fight. He was minimum a guaranteed purse of 500,000, rising up to $1 million based on pay-per-view sales. I can't remember what Regis was. I can't remember what his was. 1 million. He earned $1 million. Or something crazy.
Do you think in a boxing world, Cattrall or Poirier are more known than Poirier? Neither, not even in the boxing, just in sports in general. Neither of them are known as much as Dustin Poirier.
And that's what I remember when I told my brothers that, and they were like, "What do you mean? How?" And I go, "This is what I'm trying to tell you. I don't think you get it. You've got to be able to make a lot of money. I mean, you've got to be able to pay a lot of money for this. Your bottom line for yourself is going to be minimal compared to your actual outgoings if you want to do it. Yeah, that fair enough. But guess what? When you start comparing, okay,
Man, if no.
actually, no, wait, sorry.
I'm
I was gonna
talking
say,
about
not everyone gets paid. No, shit. Everyone needs to be a millionaire. What are you on about? You're going
everyone.
into
What
the
do you
yeah,
mean? These fires are making them a multi-billion, not even million, multi-billion company, and you're trying to say that they shouldn't be millionaires. Are you on crack? What are you on about? They're still getting paid 50K bonuses. I remember UFC 100. They gave higher bonuses at UFC 100 than they do now. Do you know how long ago the UFC 100 is? That's nearly 20 years ago. And they're still giving them the same bloody 50K bonus. They're still doing, like, even the whole thing of doing a win-win bonus, yeah, is so stupid. Because you've got, when they first started the promotion, I understand where it's just like, yo, we ain't got too much money, so
yeah.
you got your fight money, fight purse, and then you got your win bonus. The fact that at this point where you're multi-billion and you can't just give everyone a flat fee is so nasty. That
I
is
always
such
say this,
a
like,
nasty practice.
I genuinely don't think like MMA fans
It's
realize
not
how
MMA
much,
fans, it's fans of the UFC, and that's
yeah,
the
fans of
issue.
the UFC realize how much money. I'm not gonna say, I'll say middle tier to lower high level fighters get. Like, I'm not talking about your world top guys who can demand tickets from, I mean, money from the merch stands. I'm just talking about like your Jack Catterall's,
Yeah,
Progress, your what, who undisputed that retired recently,
just
Irish, Josh Taylors and stuff like that. How much money these guys are making, and they deserve it because at the end of the day, they are at the top of their craft, but they're
yeah.
not commercially the biggest stars. What I actually, funny enough, like now is what they do with Jack Catterall, which is, you know what, you put on that performance and you got the knockout. We're gonna test you in America now, and which is cool because in the nicest way to Jack, you have completed for me what you can do in the UK,
Oh,
in the
for sure.
sense of Manchester's your home. You put money on, you can sell out where you need to. Your tickets will go. Let's test the market, and I like what Sam Jones and Eddie and stuff are doing. But they're like, let's see what you like in America. Let's see what the reception is with this style that you've got, and hopefully, if that translates, we're cashing in even more. So I genuinely don't mind that as well.
Listen, the fact that the UFC's boot is shiny enough, no one else needs to lick it no more. The UFC is multi-billion. They got a new deal, and it's the same way everyone thought there weren't no money in the NBA until they decided to strike. All of a sudden,
Yeah.
guess who's got money? And the fact that the UFC pays them less than 20% of all their revenue income is crazy. We go to watch fighters fight. I don't go to watch the UFC as an organization. And obviously, I understand what Dana's done is like they've done well to build as a structure. I'm pretty sure if they paid their fighters more, I'm sure that structure is not going to crumble. Because the same way people are scared of, oh, if the NBA pays them guys more, it's going to crumble. They said the same thing about the NHL. It's like, no,
Yeah.
stop bootlicking. You lot don't care about the fighters, and it's crazy because you're watching the Ultimate Fighting Championship. How do you not care about the fighters? Like,
And
how?
do you know what? Like, don't get me wrong, I like at times what the UFC does, but compared to, but do not get me wrong, some of the
And they're not
entrances
even a
are
good
good.
product no more. No, let's say
No,
I'm on
no,
one today. They're not even a good product no more. At least back in the day, yeah, when they were bumping fighters, yeah, even though it weren't right, I could still look at the product and be like, do you know what? Yeah, this was a good product. They've stopped trying. The last time Dana tried, yeah, or actually cared was UFC 300. Only because shout out Mr. Neutral, come on, always love. Spot on about Dana
yeah,
securing. He's already secured personal wealth.
he-
That's what's so funny. He's already done what he needs to do for himself. But let me go on my diatribe. UFC 300 was the last time I saw Dana actually. I remember when UFC 300 was happening, And when I saw how passionate Dana was, I said, "Oh my God, I have not seen this."
I remember they brought back the old music and everything for that shit.
I had not seen that Dana in years. That was a promoting Dana. That's the Dana that I grew up watching when I first got into MMA. That Dana is long gone, because guess what? And kudos to him. He's got the machine to run to the point where the machine runs itself. They don't need to try. And the fact that they got a new multi-billion-dollar deal, and people are still like trying to act like saying crazy things like fighters shouldn't be millionaires. How can you say fighters shouldn't be millionaires, but then the owners can be billionaires? Make that make sense. Man,
I promise you, he doesn't need to. Eddie in the boxing world.
Eddie's too nice to out-promote Dana. It's funny considering that this guy went for the lowest of depths to make sure that his fight won against Chris Eubank Jr.
Yeah,
That's
trust me. If you put I promise you, if you were to line up Jaya Pattaya, and what I mean by this is, if you line him, I promise you, and you took on a Eddie Hearn fighter, Eddie's doing everything just to do whatever he can to promote the shit out of his fighter, to be like, he's gonna win. He's gonna win. And somehow you will find a way to believe it a little bit. But this is what I was just gonna say when it comes to disrupting boxing. I remember when Misfits started, right? And everyone was like, oh, the conversation with Misfits was completely different to what we've seen with Zuffa boxing. Zuffa is like, okay, pump the brakes, you're not really gonna do anything. You can try it, but in the background, the real boxing boys are laughing at you. When it came to Misfits, it was like, wait a minute, like they're filling up these arenas really quickly. They're getting X amount of views. Professional fighters are getting pissed off about it. They are somewhat disrupting it. Not in the case of we're going door to door. They never said they were, but they were disrupting it in the sense that you had fighters who was genuinely pissed off. There is not a fighter that I can look at that will be pissed off with Zuffa boxing. They will not care, because they know that at the end of the day, they're going to get their bag more here than they will with Zuffa. But your Misfits guys were getting the bag. They were also getting the eyes on them way more than a fighter like.
What's my guy called? Pappy. What's
Salt Pappy?
So listen, man.
Bro, the fact that you love Salt Pappy is just hilarious.
Why the heck do I know someone called Salt Pappy?
That's what I mean. And it came, do you know what it was? It came because you saw one knockout.
And that knockout, and that guy was built like a bodybuilder. And Salt Pappy said, "Yo, wait with it."
But that's what that was again. They had their own lane. Now, what's interesting, funny enough, is they've got the pro lane, but they've done it in a way where, you know what, people might genuinely want to fight on this Misfits Pro type of thing. But they're working alongside.
Obviously, they signed Vidal. They've got is Darren Till still signed to them?
I think he's a free agent right now, but yeah, he would also. I think eventually, if he goes back to fight, he'll fight with Misfits. I don't know if it's the pro side of things. I doubt it'll be the regular stuff. But like I said, Vidal Riley, they picked him up. They brought Deontay Wilder to the UK. Like, you know, they came, they did a thing there. Who else was it? I can't, like, they've got a fight with Ty Mitchell coming up. Again, he's fighting actual fighters and stuff like that. Derby, controversially, he beat a guy that was, I think, ranked top 15 with the WBA. And obviously, that belt wasn't on the line. But if it had been under the pro ban, I think maybe it could have been. So that's actual disruption, but in a way where it went from fighters were getting pissed off to, you know what, we can respect it. And they came and said, that's our lane. My one gripe with Dana before we just quickly go to Garcia and Barrios is, you see the UFC, the way you do entrances, some are cool, some are very basic.
That
shit is not going to work in the UK. I mean, in boxing. You need something, bro. You can't give your fighters 30 seconds of an entrance. Brother,
man wants people.
They're going to need something.
Man don't want people to have razzmatazz. Man don't want people to
Exactly.
have personality. Like, what the hell? We live for the personality. We live for. Let me tell you something. I was outside when AJ fought Klitschko, and I remember that entrance. I was in a pub, and we was just like, AJ come out, and after was the long entrance, and then they put like fire to the big AJ side. Even forget about that. We didn't even need to go that far. Chris Eubank versus Conor Benn. The guy won simply because he came out with 50 Cent. Are you crazy? 50 Cent done a whole medley of hits upon your head top.
Do you know what?
And if you box to do anything, we are not getting.
No, but this is the thing. That's at the top level. So I'm just even talking about what's the brother that signed with boxer Gradis.
Oh yes. Oh,
even his entrances, he comes out I think with his little girl.
Krause, you mean?
Yeah. So that's sweet. That's sick as well. There's something about it. Nathan Heaney's entrance. It's basic to a point, but there's something behind it. That my Delilah, whatever. It's a vibe, right? Listen. I can't have you coming through just jogging your way through, shirt off, job done, bro. No, you can't do that.
I get some people don't have the originality to pull it off, but it's almost like I remember even like when Israel Adesanya done something different for his entrance against Robert Whittaker when he first won the title, and Dana was against it, and basically Israel was just I had to fight to do that. I'm like, that is a legendary entrance. Imagine if he had like he couldn't do that. That was such a legendary night, and imagine if they tried to take that away from him.
No, like, just walk to the ring, bro. Like walk to the ring, arms out. People have that don't work. Like the only one that like for me, like I said, in terms of I want to say consistent fighting is I look at Sean O'Malley and I'm like, bro, when that superstar hits, I'm like, okay, there's something about that that's cool for me, right?
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. Like even that, I don't think Dana realizes entrances are a big thing.
I get why he doesn't like it because his thing is there's been many guys that have tried to do it and it just comes across corny, which he's not wrong. However, for the right occasions, you can't take that away. And he will fold because if he actually gets like even like when bloody Terence Crawford came out with a mariachi band and the guitar case, like I forgot what film that was. Legendary. Or even when we talked about Canelo's entrances for Matchroom when he came back to Mexico.
I said that it's the greatest entrance I'll see outside of.
Let me load up for after.
Yeah, the Canelo entrance against John Ryder, amazing, bro. The Kel, as much as I didn't like the man.
I know you're gonna talk
Kel
about
bro.
Oh, all of the lights.
Yeah, against Amir Khan, fully booed, everything, bro. That type of shit, you've got to be able to do, and as crazy as it sounds, it's kind of has to be for the main event of every event to a point.
Not even every event, for the right ones.
Yeah.
For the right guys. Like we've always said when it came to production, Matchroom, they will put on a show.
Yeah.
And Canelo was just going against Ryder, and that looked
it was I remember that year. I said it's the best entrance I'll see that year. And the only thing that eclipsed it for me was obviously the Eubank stuff. But outside of that, I can't sit here and tell you.
Listen, I remember my adrenaline went through the roof when I clocked that Eubank actually had 50 Cent. And he was
that won't happen.
Yeah, it don't matter. Listen, do you know why TF3 man too far? Because he ain't got no belt, Rubo. Shakur took that from him. That's why.
That's never happening.
Like, wait, give me a minute, because I need to get my charger before my battery dies. Give me a sec.
Cool, no worries. I'm going to go through some of these. Zuf's still building divisions in 26. It will take them at least 2 years to get fully operational. That's cool. I've got no problem with that. My whole thing has always been, you can operate and learn and build, no problem. But you cannot come and believe that the way you run things is the way boxing is going to run things in the future, because it's not. You simply do not have the power to have your title in whatever span. I'm talking, you can have 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. Hey, you can have my grandkids' years, which is another 50 years, whatever you want to call it. You are not going to eclipse the tradition of boxing. It's just not going to happen. Boxing was there before you. Boxing's going to be there after you. Boxing's going to be there after Eddie Hearn, Barry, Frank, whatever. They will, when they go pass away, the sport isn't going to go. And
Let me tell
that's
you,
the thing.
to add on to that, does boxing need a reform? Absolutely. Does boxing need structure? Absolutely. But if you think Zufa's gonna come in and overhaul it like MMA, you
No.
have another thing coming.
It's
Boxing
like,
absolutely needs structure. That's why I said I don't mind Zufa coming in. Oh my gosh, thank you very much.
yo, we appreciate it, Alex, man.
Shout
I
out to Super
appreciate
Chat.
that. We'll keep that up there. I appreciate
Listen,
that, man.
Zufa cannot formalize boxing the same way that they done it to MMA, simply because, like I said, there was competition before. And yes, does boxing need a restructure? Yes, because like I said, the big paydays of some of the big guys, they're gonna go fleeing after this because the sport of boxing in itself is dying out. However, as long as there's other promotions left, there's still gonna be big stars, rude boy. And as long as there's big stars, there's gonna be big entrances. And as long as there's big entrances, there's gonna be big money. And if you want to be stingy, this ain't gonna be the
That ain't
place.
gonna work. Quickly, before we wrap up, Barrios Garcia this weekend.
Let's go Barrios, man.
I mean, we can say let's go Barrios, but you know what I've been calling Barrios. For me, he's one of the weakest champions in boxing.
He absolutely is, but it's not like Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia got an alley-oop against Rolly Romero,
Yeah,
and he lost to Rolly Romero. So now I'm hoping that they try to give and the funny thing is, I don't think that Golden Boy is on Ryan Garcia's side as we think he is, because Golden Boy's situation with Garcia is tumultuous. So I think if he wins, they'll be happy because they've got him in a death row contract. And then if they lose, they'll release him and say, all right, cool, whatever, go do what you need to do now because you've lost your 2 championship bouts back to back. And I'm hoping Barrios, please step up and beat Ryan Garcia. The only reason why people may want Ryan Garcia to win is so that Haney can beat him up after.
I don't think he'll do a Haney fight.
He has to.
I don't know if he does it, but all I will say is for me,
Absolutely. There is no money. So there's no bigger, speaking of money fights, there is no bigger money fight than that Haney. That money is going to be too convincing
that's true.
not to take it. And here's more irony. I bet you any money Turkey will put up money for that. That is the
I
type
can
of
see
fight.
that.
And Turkey likes Haney. He'll put up money for that.
I just look at Barrios, and I said it before. This was before Pacquiao and stuff like that. I just said, look, if you want to get yourself a world title, you want to aim to fight Barrios. Because I think prior to that as well, he drew his fight there as well. And I just said, look, I don't
that
get
was
it.
crazy. You should have gotten Pacquiao out of here.
Yeah. But yeah.
No, Haney wants his lick back.
Oh, Haney wants it.
I don't know if Garcia can make it through. And I think Haney was saying about if Garcia doesn't do drug testing, then he's not doing a fight, and he's well within his right to do that. For someone that's popped, he's absolutely well within his right to tell Garcia, unless we do 24/7 drug testing, this fight ain't happening. So the ball's in Garcia's court somehow, even though he's like a repeated cheat and a filthy scumbag. And to be fair, Ryan Garcia's got a Conor Ben fight straight after. It's there for him.
Yeah, he's that's what I mean. I think that one.
That is just listen. That's scumbag for scumbag. That fight.
I grew to like Conor Ben.
That is no. He is, but that's the scumbag bowl. Him versus scumbag bowl.
But yeah, no, we're gonna wrap up. It'll be going on for an hour. Shout out to Alex again for the super chat.
Love.
Shout out to everyone else that's been in the chat. I've got to be fasting soon, so I don't know when I'm coming back, but I'll find a way. All I'm gonna say is, if I see any Asian people with girls once they fast have opened, I'm coming for you.
What is the what is the correct term? Is it Ramadan Mubarak?
That's literally it.
Ramadan Mubarak to my
Appreciate it, man.
brothers in Islam.
I appreciate it. At any point, if you want to try it, this is your best shot to do it. Because it's only 12 hours. You wake up at 5:30.
What time is it next year?
Earlier, even easier. I'm talking. You might be even in the gym. You might not even finish work, and you're opening your fast.
Next year.
That's literally what's going to be happening this year. There'll be times where I'm at work and I'll open my fast.
Next year, I might join you guys.
Yeah, it's good. It's good, quick, easy 30 days. But yeah, like I said, appreciate you guys. We're gonna sign out. Until next time, stay weighted.
It's another band. All the Muslim cars now, whichever get up. Light up my card with a sweet one, please. Someone flicks me a back by it. Oh, it's another one. It's another one, yeah. It's a full strand, yeah. Oh, it's another one. It's another one, yeah.